Alright guys, I'm sorry if this is like the world's most awful cast ever, because I haven't been playing for quite a while. So, looks like we got it underway. We're good. We don't have Miley Cyrus. I need to move myself though. And then we'll introduce the players. Edit scene, there we go. And then I need to select me. Hold on. I got this. Don't tell me. Boom. Perfect. Good. Solid. Close the betting screen, and then we do the fancy camera work. Alright, so in the lower right-hand corner, we have OGL's Explicit as our pink Zerg. And in the upper left-hand corner, we have our purple Terran claiming that he is, in fact, a Bronze League player. It's Tyler. Get it, Tyler. Should be good there. And then let's get our production tab going. Good to go. Not a whole lot going on right now. As I've mentioned earlier, I do have 2 broken fingers. You can see them right there. Let me alt-tab over. Let me see. Make sure that I can definitely show these off. You can see the stitches that are still in there. I'm about 2 days out from getting those stitches out. Happened about 2 weeks ago, so I'm just now starting to get back in the swing of things. Working with a broken hand with a mouse is quite difficult, especially with the braces that they made you wear. So now I've got new fancy ones, and they're like this. They're not really that fancy. This is what I get to play with. I mean, they're just like 4 metal prongs and foam. I could have made this in my backyard, just like stitching it together with little pieces of aluminum. I would have been fine. But no, gotta be fancy about it, gotta get the right stuff. But yeah, I mean, they gave me decent painkillers for it. It looks like Tyler may actually be, well, no, he's got enough space right here. So it looks like he's got it pretty well. But it looks like he's definitely going for some sort of early tech lab or reactor. I'm going to assume probably a reactor and then a Reaper opening, especially since it's against a Zerg. If it was against a Protoss, maybe it would be an early tech lab, but I don't expect that kind of thing. We do have an early expansion before pool from our Zerg player. He's going out without gas, which is fairly normal. And then our Terran player only has 100 gas, so there we go. It looks like the reactor is down. As predicted, we are going for an early third base for our Zerg player. I think this might just be because Tyler was saying, you know what, hey, I'm Bronze League, and the chat saying, come on Orbital, come on Orbital. This is where you start showing off the fact that you are kind of in Bronze League. Orbital's being delayed past maybe half an SCV. Bronze League kind of, I mean, you know what? I don't know. It's just one of those things. Maybe he's off racing. He's not a normal Terran. I don't know. I don't know. We're not gonna. Let's look at his leaderboard. We've got Tyler down here, 395. He's one of the lowest ranked or lowest rated. So I mean, I don't know, man. And nothing building out of the barracks. So I mean, we do have a lower level game going. So our Zerg player is actually pretty safe, even with this fast third base. Normally against a Terran player that's going with a reactor barracks, these Reapers would have been out already, and this would have been a world of hurt for our Zerg player with that extra third base to try and protect. I mean, because his queens aren't even done. They're just now starting. His spawning pool just completed. So I mean, we've got 2 queens that are sort of on the way, and a third one maybe, but I mean, these Reapers could have been doing all sorts of damage already. Still no orbital command from Tyler. Tyler, we need to see some sort of orbital command. We're going to see a switch over here, and hopefully we're going to see some Widow Mines to protect him. I mean, our Terran player could probably protect himself pretty well. As far as, there we go, command center going. Fantastic. Now we've got a little bit of a lag spike going. I don't know who was causing that. I definitely hope it wasn't me, but definitely 2 Reapers going across the map right now. They're going to hit the tower just to make sure that there's nothing there, and they're going to start scouting everything out. And it looks like they're going to just barely get out from under where that Overlord is, so the Overlord's not going to be able to see it. And I don't think any queens are quite done yet. Yeah, we got 1 over here, so they're, I don't know, let's see if we can get this queen into position. But it looks like Explicit's not doing too much as far as worrying about it, so not going to worry about it too much. Did save that with a Spore Crawler, cancels it almost immediately once he realizes the Reapers are going to go on to that third base. Queen over here almost done, but I don't even know if he realizes that the third base is up. So that is definitely something that Reapers need to be doing right now. Need to have that map control. If you're going to put the Reapers out, especially that delayed, they at least need to do some scouting. And all he's noticed is that there's nothing here. And seeing that there's nothing here, that there are 2 gases at the main and no gases at the natural, I mean, that does signify that, hey, I've got 2 gases at the main base. I probably have a 3rd base. Definitely want to check that out. But he is doing a good job dealing with this Overlord over here, trying to scare it off, make sure that Overlord doesn't see a whole lot, but we do see double engineering bay. He probably got a chance to see the command center. Do have the orbital command. Gonna go ahead and close this, dropping a supply drop at the moment instead of opting for mules. Mules would definitely help him out just because he's got 235 minerals. Not quite enough for what he wants to do, and definitely not enough production to make sure that he's got everything going right now. So our 3rd base for Explicit is up and running. He could probably secure a 4th base right now just because Tyler is not that aggressive at the moment. I mean, if we saw Roach Warren going down, we do have Lair Tech on the way, so I'm assuming that I'm going to see some mutas coming out, especially with as many gases are being saturated at the moment. 3rd base gas I expect to see fairly soon, but these are going to go right here into the natural. Looks like not getting a whole lot of damage done. 1 goes down. We're going to see quite a few drone kills, but they're going to block a little bit. But the drones were just on a move command. I'm not sure exactly what they were doing, but they were moving toward these. So, I mean, already right now these Hellions are being fairly cost effective. It looks like 6 kills overall between them. And 2 queens are going to try and pick it off. It looks like we've got 2 weakened Hellions, but that queen's going to stay down on the low ground. And it looks like more and more drones are going to be killed off. Finally getting the surround on them, but not quite a full surround. A bunch of Zerglings coming in. It doesn't look like he clicked on that Spire, so he should be able to tell exactly what it is, unless he assumes it's a spine crawler. Zerglings flooding in from every angle, finally taking out everything there. And it looks like we're not losing a whole lot of drones here as far as mining time, except for the natural expansion. It looks like he's still sending all of his workers over here, not exactly where he needs them to go. I would say that having that rally point down here would be better. And Chad is saying, no creep, no creep. Well, that is true, but at the moment he doesn't necessarily need it. It would be nice to have it. Mule being dropped down to try and save that bunker, but too little, too late. Everything is going to go down at this front wall. And Zerglings are now in the main base. And he doesn't have any Widow Mines at the main base to try and protect the base, but thankfully they don't want to do splash damage against buildings, but, I mean, he's in the production, getting everything down. So a bunch of SCVs are going to go down just because there are no Marines over here, and, I mean, what happened to that barracks? Barracks is not producing anything. We need to see some sort of constant production, and I'm surprised to see that there's no starport whatsoever. I mean, I realize that this is a bronze level game, but here's the Banelings morphing in, and it looks like they're not going to be... Oh man, Widow Mines might be able to get some really good hits over here. Those need to be canceled. Oh, but they didn't get great hits. They needed great hits. They got good hits, but not great. And all these SCVs are going to die once that Baneling bust comes up. I mean, he should be able to hit this reactor and just take everything out. And it looks like the SCVs are getting a chance to repair some of it, but a bunch of them do go down. Everything on that wall goes down. And now the Banelings are just waddling their way over to the SCV line, and the SCVs are done for. And I don't think there's any recovering going on because, I mean, we've got Widow Mines that are going to try and protect everything as far as that. But, I mean, some Zerglings go down. Tyler throws out the GG, and there we go. Dash production. Got to make sure that we stretch it out. Especially with the hand injury, got to make sure that you stretch it out constantly. Alright, so it looks like we've got another ZvT on the way. Gonna go ahead and close the betting screen and introduce our players. In the lower right hand corner, we have our current hero. This is Panth as our Orange Terran player. In the upper left hand corner, we have our current champion. This is our Pink Zerg player, OGL's Explicit. Fantastic. That was a pretty interesting game over there. Everybody's saying that Explicit is Diamond. I do not necessarily disagree with that. I mean, just by the way that he was playing very greedy, but he got away with it just because of a low-level player. He might have done a little bit of scouting as far as checking the leaderboard and seeing, hey, by the way, he doesn't have over 400 points there. Usually that's a decent indicator, but you can see the Explicit down here with 374 points. It's not the end-all, be-all of how good you are. Yeah, it is an indicator, but it's not the end-all, be-all. Tyler lagging out just a little bit here. And I mean, looks like Explicit's going to go for basically the same thing. We're going to see a hatch first, which is fairly common against Terran. I mean, especially in the higher levels, you're definitely going to see that kind of thing. You do have a little bit of a weakness to heavy amounts of Reapers when you engage like that, but usually it's pretty safe. There's not a whole lot that Terran can do, and especially right now, this is a gasless open, so we're not going to see any sort of Reaper open. So this is just going to be Marines that are coming out. So don't be too worried about it. This is actually a pretty safe opener. It's unusual at this state of the game in Heart of the Swarm to see a gasless open from Terran unless it's a command center first. Now, if you do see a CC first from Terran, there's a lot of things that Zerg can do about it, including building a hatchery at the natural, as we've seen from Root Cats. We do see a refinery finally going down. And the reason that I say that it's pretty unusual to have a gasless open from Terran is that it delays your factory, and especially with Widow Mines being so common against Zerg players right now, you want to have Widow Mines as soon as possible. You want to have your upgrades as soon as possible. Because the thing that Zerg has to do against Terran is they have to have their upgrades higher than the Terran player, and they have to have them ahead of the Terran player. Otherwise, the Zerg player starts to fall behind. So not only does a Zerg player have to usually be a base ahead of their opponent in like a ZvT or ZvP, but they also have to be upgrades ahead of their opponent in, say, ZvT. Just because Biomine is really difficult to deal with as a Zerg player. I believe that Bomber put it best to say that it's not whether you get lucky with your Widowmine hits, it's actually a test of the Zerg skill. Honestly, we've all heard me complain about Widowmines. I do have a problem with them, but you know what? The way that Zerg are currently attacking against Biomine is a very, very APM heavy build with a lot of really squishy units. And so having Zerglings and Mutas, which both deal with Widow Mines very poorly, it puts Zerg in a really bad position against Biomine. So you have to have those upgrade advantages. I do see a supply depot up the top over here that's going to scout out a little bit and make sure that he's not going to get dropped by, you know, Bane Rain or something like that. But we do have Overlord spread doing fairly well, but we only have the one over here. I'd like to see one on this side as well as somewhere near the natural. But right now, we've only got Marines that are going to be moving out, so this could be pretty hefty. But you know what? Explicit has seen the fact that there is no second base for our Terran player, so he should know that there's an attack coming soon. But we only see a couple Zerglings on the way, and that will not be enough to protect him against this sort of thing. And, I mean, Baneling Nest is almost done. Zergling speed isn't even started. So this could be the beginning of the end for Explicit. This could be really big for him. I mean, there are Marines on the way, and he will scout it out with this Overlord, so now we've got more Roaches on the way, and we do have Lair Tech being started. Needs to go ahead and get his injects going, and it looks like that Queen is going to stay down here just to help out with the DPS just a little bit. He will be okay. It looks like he has recoiled all of his mining units. Back home, Roaches have come out, so now he's going to be able to repel this, and Marines are chasing this one Roach, so that micro was pretty effective. 2 Queens down on the bottom, and a bunch of Roaches going down to these Marines, but they do not have Stim quite yet. Stim is not even on the way, but now these Queens definitely need to get back in and help out with the DPS. There's a little bit of micro going on, but that could have been dealt with just a little bit better. Marines are still on the move command all the way over, rallying all the way over, but pretty good micro for these Roaches, not losing any of these 3, which, I mean, for the amount of Marines that they killed, you can see that that's about 10 right there that he dealt with, and, I mean, pretty good hold. Lost a few things, but all in all, not too bad. And you can see up here that it does say units lost is 1,400, but that is not quite accurate because that is the grand total of all of them. There's a little bit of a bug in OBS that says, oh yeah, that's every unit you've lost while you've been playing. So if you are the reigning champion, that number will be a little bit higher than it should be. So we do have roaches going out. It looks like they're going to scout out in this side. Make sure that there's nothing fishy going on, making sure that it wasn't like a proxy Rax or something, which, I mean, given the time that it hit, probably not going to be some sort of proxy Rax, but hey, it's alright. Now it looks like Tyler's going to troll a few people. Everybody's typing minus stats, seeing if there's anything that's going to show up. We've got roaches controlling the watchtowers, making sure that there's nothing fishy going on. And I don't know what was going on with that mule, but it looks like he was not rallied quite correctly. We do have what looks like combat shields are done for our Marines checking out. They have 55 health, so yes, combat shields is done. Stim is on the way. And he does have command center, but it is not an orbital command. I would like to see that morphed into an orbital command, and I'd like to see more stuff coming out of the factory. We got a reactor on the way, and we've got a starport, so he's going to be able to heal up some of these Marines. Slowling's still on the way, and that is disappointing for a Zerg player. He needs to go ahead and expand. I'd like to see a third base here, maybe here since that's not a normal place, just so that he can hide it a little bit. Banelings are being morphed right now, but Baneling speed is already completed as well, so that's going to be beneficial for him, although I'd like to see some Zergling speed. He does have the skin for his Zergling, so he's going to be able to tell that, hey, by the way, I don't have speed because they don't have giant wings on him. But a bunch of these Marines are going to die, but I don't think this is a very cost-effective trade because these Banelings aren't getting huge hits and a lot of splash damage. One of them goes down without anything, and Panth is going to go ahead and GG out. I'm not sure what just happened there.